Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to talk about some comments that Stephen A. Smith made that I heard this morning about Kevin Durant being the #1 option no matter where he goes. Kevin Durant's the #1 option. No matter where he goes, he's the #1 guy. So basically, Stephen A. Smith is saying, even at this point in time of Kevin Durant's career, no matter what team he goes to, right? Because Kevin Durant has to go to another team. He can't stay on the Phoenix Suns. God forbid Kevin Durant has to actually play on a team that he's on. Stay on the team. These guys can't do it anymore. So they're talking about all these rumors, Kevin Durant being traded here, Kevin Durant being traded there. But Stephen A. Smith says, no matter where he goes, he's the #1 option. That is the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. And Stephen A. Smith went on a rant that made no sense, talking about Kevin Durant's scoring ability, his shooting ability, because that's all you can promote for Kevin Durant, because he does nothing else on the court. We're going to talk about this video, because I don't understand how Kevin Durant is the #1 option no matter where he goes. That's stupid as hell. But anyway, it's Stephen A. Smith. This is the astute basketball analysis from supposed to be an expert, Stephen A. Smith. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel, man. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all support, man. It really means a lot. Much respect to all you guys out there, man. And you guys know what to do, man. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I wanted to talk about some comments I heard Stephen A. Smith say in relation to Kevin Durant and him, possibly going to another team this year, because this is Kevin Durant now. Kevin Durant is a guy that plays for a team for 3 years and then he leaves. Played for Golden State Warriors for 3 years and left. On the Brooklyn Nets for 3 years, then left. Now he's on the Phoenix Suns, I believe, 3 years now. He's leaving again now. They're talking about, maybe going to the Knicks, maybe going to the Houston Rockets, maybe going to the Spurs, maybe going to the Miami Heat, maybe going to the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? Kevin Durant has a short list of teams that he prefers to go to. The hell with Kevin Durant. Who the hell cares where Kevin Durant wants to go? How does Kevin Durant earn that kind of cachet? I don't understand this. Kevin Durant ain't that dude, man. Kevin Durant hasn't been that dude in a long, long time. All right? He ain't basically been that dude since he left Golden State. And like I said, even when he was on Golden State, he wasn't that dude. That was Steph Curry's team that Kevin Durant ran to. He took a page from the LeBron James manual and said, you know what? Let me join a champion. Just like LeBron James joined Dwayne Wade, Kevin Durant joined Steph Curry. Let me join a champion so I can ride the coattails of that person, so I can learn how to win, because I can't lead a team to a championship myself. LeBron James, Kevin Durant both did that. All right? So when we think about Kevin Durant that way, this dude ain't been the man since he left OKC, man. He ain't been that dude. Like I said, he over there riding around on Steph Curry's team, looking real great. Kevin Durant, he was awesome on the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, because he's playing with Steph Curry, man. Once again, exposing Kevin Durant. Where has he been since? Where has he been since? I've been asking the Kevin Durant fans, where has he been since? So Stephen A. Smith, he's going to sit there and talk on ESPN the other day, start talking about Kevin Durant, no matter where he goes. He said this, no matter where he goes, he's the #1 option. That is the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. This is the problem for someone like Kevin Durant. And this is why Stephen A. Smith gets no respect out here, man. You're going to really make that kind of assessment? That no matter where he goes, you can't say that. No matter where he goes, any team he goes to, he's the #1 option. The #1 option. And he really said if he went to Minnesota, he'd be the #1 option. How is Kevin Durant the #1 option over Anthony Edwards? I don't understand that. I'm not saying that Anthony Edwards is greater than Kevin Durant or better than Kevin Durant. But right now, at this point in time of their careers, there's no way in hell you would make Anthony Edwards the second option if Kevin Durant went to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Once again, who the hell is Kevin Durant at this point in time in his career? He's nobody. What cachet does he have? He has no cachet. The man couldn't even get the Phoenix Suns into the postseason last year. He couldn't even get him in the play-in this season. Couldn't even get him in the play-in. I don't want to hear about Kevin Durant's injuries. There's another reason why Kevin Durant's not going to be a #1 option. Kevin Durant can't play 70 games a season. He could barely play 60 games in a season, guys. He is frail and weak, man. He ain't durable. He ain't tough. He ain't strong. None of those things. Stephen A. Smith over here talking about Kevin Durant. And he says the same things over and over again, Stephen A. Smith, in relation to Kevin Durant. What do you think that Stephen A. Smith said, guys? What does he always say? Oh, Kevin Durant, 6'10", with a 7'6" wingspan, could pull up from the parking lot, could shoot the mid-range, could shoot the three, could go to... I mean, he just talks about all this stuff that he could do, scoring the ball. He could score in the fast break. He could score in the post. He could score in the mid-range. He could score from outside. This is what Stephen A. Smith is talking about. He just keeps talking about what Kevin Durant could do, scoring the ball and shooting the ball, because that is all Kevin Durant does. That's not good enough, Stephen A. That's not going to get it done. Kevin Durant's shot making, his scoring ability, it's not going to get it done. It has zero impact on the game. Zero impact. That's why he's not doing anything in Phoenix. He didn't do nothing in Brooklyn. But what do? They make excuses. Oh, Kyrie Irving this. James Harden that. His foot was on the line here. Steve Nash this. This COVID there. That's all they do is make excuses. Kevin Durant had no leadership when he was in Brooklyn. No leadership in OKC. No, he wasn't a leader in Golden State. He isn't a leader in Phoenix. Where is the accountability for Kevin Durant? When is anyone going to put Kevin Durant and put him down and say, listen, man, this on him? Not excusing all the time. It's all your excuses. They blame Devin Booker. Let's blame Bradley Beal. Let's blame the lesser guys for Kevin Durant's failures when he's the one that forced a trade there. He's the one that wanted to go to Phoenix Suns. So let me get this straight. Kevin Durant wanted to go to Brooklyn, went there, didn't work out. Let's make excuses for him. Kevin Durant wanted to go to the Phoenix Suns. It didn't work out. Let's make excuses now and trade him somewhere. And now Stephen A. Smith is still promoting Kevin Durant as if this is the 2012 Kevin Durant, 2011 Kevin Durant, 2013, 14, 15 Kevin Durant. This is not that dude. He's not that guy. And like I said, even when he was at his best, he did not do other things like leadership. He didn't have leadership. He's never been a leader, Kevin Durant. He's not galvanizing the team around him to that degree, all right? Rebounding, he's been a poor rebounder his entire career. Like Stephen A. Smith just said, he's 6'10", 6'11", whatever the hell he is. He's damn near 7 feet tall. This man can rebound at that height. Can rebound, guys. Stephen A. Smith said that no matter where Kevin Durant goes next season, he's the number one option. And this is why I tell people, or I was telling teams, or I was saying that teams should not want to trade for Kevin Durant, because this is what you have to do. You got to sacrifice all your talent, all your young core. You got to sacrifice your chemistry, everything that you've been building. Teams have to sacrifice this now. So I remember I did a video about a month or so ago, a couple months ago, when they were rumors that Kevin Durant was maybe going to go to the Houston Rockets were a possibility. And I started laughing, and that's cringe as hell for Kevin Durant to go to the Houston Rockets. Because who the Houston Rockets got to give up to get Kevin Durant? And what's Kevin Durant doing in the Houston Rockets? He ain't doing nothing for that team, man. Once again, not doing anything for that team. The Houston Rockets don't need Kevin Durant and all his crazy shots. And like I said, all his offensive game. That's all he's got. They don't need that kind of stuff, man. All right, the Houston Rockets are fine. They got a young talent, a young core. They got very well coached. They're scrappy on defense. They don't need no Kevin Durant on that team. Who the hell wants and needs Kevin Durant? The dude's not doing anything out there. He has no impact on it. The man was negative this season. We talking laugh about LeBron James being negative plus minus. Well, so was Kevin Durant, guys. He was a negative plus minus this year, right? But no one wants to talk about this stuff. Kevin Durant, how many games did he play this year? 62, 60 games? I don't even know what he played this year. The guy's always missing games, always frail. So let's say you get Kevin Durant on your team. You know he's not playing. He's going to play at least, or he's going to miss at least 15 games. So you can just count off the jump that Kevin Durant pencil him for maybe 68 games. Maybe 65 so you can get that minimum in. But that's all you're getting from Kevin Durant. You ain't getting 75 games from Kevin Durant. You're not even getting 70 games from Kevin Durant more often than not. More likely, you're not going to get that. So why would you trade away a bunch of your core or talent for a guy who's only going to be there 60, 65 games possibly? And who knows if he'll even be there for the postseason? You don't know with Kevin Durant. And like I said, where's the impact? Where's the leadership to galvanize young talent, young players? He don't have that. Once again, what else is Kevin Durant doing? Is he playing hellified defense? Is he a rebounder? He's none of those things. None of them things, guys. He's a shot maker. That's it. That's it. And he's not even aggressive at shot making. You see, Stephen A. Smith also said that when Kevin Durant played for the Golden State Warriors in 2017, 2018, 2019, Stephen A. Smith said that Kevin Durant wasn't even the second option on the Warriors. And I never thought about this, but how the hell was Kevin Durant the number one option on the Warriors? To me, it seemed like Steph Curry was once again the engine that made the Warriors go. Without Steph Curry out there, the Warriors do nothing. Kevin Durant does nothing. We've seen this. Kevin Durant's played with all kinds of talent, but he did not win until he was on the Golden State Warriors. The only way that he could win was to play with Steph Curry on a team that was already established, that was already there. Kevin Durant didn't add anything to that team except make them even more beatable, or make them even more unbeatable to a degree. Now, I've told you guys, to me, the 2017 Warriors are not this unbeatable team. Right? They were getting blown out by the San Antonio Spurs. But what Kevin Durant did by going to that team is he made that team a little bit extra. He gave them extra, right? And like I said, they were already an established team. So it wasn't like they were a bunch of ragtag, or a bunch of really good players that were on the team, but they didn't have no chemistry or camaraderie, no cohesion. They had great players with cohesion. And you added Kevin Durant to that. So Stephen A. Smith says that Kevin Durant wasn't even the second option on Golden State. Steph Curry took more shots on average than Kevin Durant. Not saying that makes him the number one option. But Steph Curry was the guy, the leader of the Warriors. Like I said, what do the Warriors do without Steph Curry? When Steph Curry went down that season, what did Draymond Green do? What did Klay Thompson do? These guys did nothing out there. They need Steph Curry. He's the one. He's the one that stirs the drink. That's the facts. That's why Kevin Durant went there, because Steph Curry and the way that he can play the game, the way that he makes it easier for everyone else around him. He made it easier for Kevin Durant. It's Steph Curry's team. He's the number one option. He's the number one guy, Stephen A. Smith. What the hell are you talking about? Kevin Durant was feeding off of Curry. It wasn't the other way around. Kevin Durant didn't come there to save Steph Curry. Kevin Durant ran to Steph Curry so he could save him, so he could become a champion. And the way that Kevin Durant pumps up those two championships, no one respects that. That's why Kevin Durant gets upset. Whenever people call out those two championships, you see how upset he gets? Because he knows it's not respected. He knows the truth hurts. That's why he comes out there in the social media and burns accounts and goes back and forth with the fans like a straight loser. Because he's a loser and he makes excuses and he knows that hurts his feelings because the truth hurts. And don't no one respect those championships except for him and maybe his mama. That's it. Don't no one respect them titles, man. But we're supposed to believe that Kevin Durant, no matter what team he goes to, is no one option. That's a dumb statement. That's a dumb statement. Now, once again, let's not say that Kevin Durant has, any team. He can go to any team he wants. He can't go to any team. But if you're going to make a statement like that, no matter where he goes, he's the number one option, that's not valid, Stephen A. Smith. Once again, he's being hyperbolic because this is what Stephen A. Smith is. Like I said, he goes off on a rant about Kevin Durant and his shot-making ability. No one cares about the shot-making ability. He's not going to get it done. He's got to have leadership, the intangibles, defense, rebounding, hustle, durability, grit. All that stuff goes into helping you win. Kevin Durant ain't got that like that. He don't. He's out there getting all this money, but there's nothing happening. Like I said, you're getting swept in the playoffs last year. This year, you didn't even make it. Didn't even make the playoffs. And like I said, Kevin Durant was out from many games at the end of the season, right? He wasn't even there. So why would you want Kevin Durant on your team? Who the hell would trade for Kevin Durant? And how the hell is Kevin Durant not a guaranteed number one option no matter where he goes? So if he went to the Oklahoma City Thunder again, he's the number one option on the Thunder now because he's Kevin Durant? No, Kevin Durant at this point of his career is done. I told you guys, done. He needs to retire. He should have been retired. How the hell is this man in rumors for being traded to another team? He should be done. They should be talking about Kevin Durant retirement. That's it. Kevin Durant has nothing else to give to a team. But Stephen A. Smith's over here promoting him as if this is 2012 Kevin Durant. This is not 2012 Kevin Durant. Like I said, Kevin Durant hasn't been that dude in many, many years. But Stephen A. Smith keeps talking about him like he is that guy. He's the number one. He's the number one option no matter where he goes. He even said, like I said, when he played in the Warriors, he was the number one option. That doesn't make any sense, man. When he was the number one option, he don't win. That's the facts. Number one option in Brooklyn, didn't win. Number one option in Phoenix, didn't win. Number one option OKC, didn't win. Now, once again, we can talk about the 2012 NBA Finals and some of the shady business dealings or some of the shady dealings that were going on at Finals. But once again, man, Kevin Durant decided to bail out on his team. He's the one who left after the 2016 3-1 blown lead. That's on Kevin Durant's resume. That's his career right there, man. So once again, where was all his elite shot making in Game 7 of that series? Or Game 5, or Game 6. Where was it? It wasn't around. It was nowhere to be found, Kevin Durant. Right? Where was his lockdown defense or crazy rebounding? Right? Or leadership to galvanize the people, make his teammates better, raise them up. None of this stuff. They blew a 3-1 lead and Kevin Durant was there for all of that. Stephen A. Smith talking about he's going to be the number one option no matter where he goes. His number one option days are over. That's the problem for Kevin Durant and someone like LeBron James. These guys still think they're the number one options. You guys are not the number one options anymore. It's time to roll it up, pack it up, close up shop. It's a wrap for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant needs to be a third guy, like a third option. If Kevin Durant's your third option, then you could do something out there. But you need Kevin Durant to take a backseat offensively and do other things like rebound, play defense more consistently, be there on the court, right? Be more durable. That's what you need from Kevin Durant. Leadership, galvanize the people around him, right? Like I said, make the people around you better, right? Help lead them. That's what they need from Kevin Durant. That's what anyone needs from Kevin Durant. But he ain't got it. He ain't got leadership. He's not going to play defense like that or rebound. He's not going to play a bunch of games. He's going to miss a lot of games. He's not going to be coachable like that. He's not going to galvanize the teammates around him. He's never done this. Never did it. Where's Steve Nash at? He ran Steve Nash out of Brooklyn, right? He ran the other guy, Atkinson, out of Brooklyn, right? That's what they did, right? What happened in Phoenix, in the Phoenix Suns? How many coaches in Phoenix now? Was Kevin Durant there? I'm telling you guys right now, this is Kevin Durant. He's going down the same path as LeBron James. A coach killer, a guy who doesn't galvanize teammates, doesn't make the people around him better, a guy that does one thing really great, but nothing else really great. It's not going to work, man. But Stephen A. Smith promoting Kevin Durant as the number one option no matter where he goes. No matter where he goes. So if Kevin Durant goes to San Antonio Spurs, then you're going to make him the number one option over Victor Wembanyama. Why would you do that? Why would you suppress Victor Wembanyama that way? You see what I'm saying, guys? That's the burn's on Kevin Durant. Guys like LeBron James to sacrifice for the teammates. Sacrifice for Anthony Davis. LeBron wouldn't do this. So they traded him. But I said, what has Kevin Durant done on the Phoenix Suns? No, and I don't want to hear about Bradley Beal's injuries. I don't want to hear about Devin Booker and his inconsistent play. It was Kevin Durant that chose to go there. It was Kevin Durant that wanted to go there. Right? They were hyping him up when he got there. Oh, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. Oh, my goodness. These guys are going to be formidable. It's a joke, man. Absolute joke. Kevin Durant gets hyped up and does nothing. Underachieves. And they make excuses. Stephen A. Smith still trying to say this guy's the number one option no matter where he goes. So if he goes to the Denver Nuggets, he's the number one option on the Denver Nuggets, not Nikola Jokic. He's not their main guy. What are we talking about here? It doesn't make any sense, man. It really doesn't. Why would other teams do this? And like I said, what do teams have to give up to get Kevin Durant? You got to dismantle your whole team to get Kevin Durant for what? For what? So you can pay this man some money to play 55 games, 60 games, and get swept in the playoffs? So he can go out there and average 25, 26, 27 points a game? Great for Kevin Durant, man. He can average 25 in his sleep like Stephen A. Smith said. It has no impact, does nothing. Nothing. Not going to win. You guys know this. These are the facts. Kevin Durant's number one option days are over. Over. You put Kevin Durant on a bad team, the Washington Wizards, maybe he's the number one option on that team. Put him on the Charlotte Hornets, maybe he's the number one option on that team. Right? You put him on one of these crappy teams, the Brooklyn Nets, you put him on one of these teams, maybe he could be the number one option. How is he a number one option on a contender? Doesn't make any sense to me, guys. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.